Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Yo, set your affirmations, aspirations. I got shit to do, the aftermath of preparation. Good food, good mood, blood in circulation. One step at a time, yeah, that's how you make it. Set a goal you control and the steps you take them. I try to pick one thought, have some concentration. And if I make a mistake, it's called education. I try to do this every day, call it replication. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 So life ain't easy, yo, I think there's a reason though. Ups and downs, just like every different season, yo. Sometimes I'm high, other times I'm barely breathing, though. You always gotta fight and hide from the demons, yo. Negative thoughts are poison, they rot. Head full of flies, so here come the clouds. They'll never stop unless I can swap all the bad for the good in my head when I'm lost. Yeah, so I'ma fake it till I make it. Positive thoughts are overtaken, I got patience. One day at a time is how you operate a cadence. A flow, you grow, you show yourself a foundation. Stay away from all the shit that causes temptation. I know that I like to do it cause of sensation. I live my life in my head like a narration. Don't expect greatness, do my best, man, I'll take it. Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Wake up early, gonna rise with the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.
Good morning! Happy Tuesday! I missed all of you guys yesterday. Every one of you guys, I missed you. I missed you a lot. I enjoyed my day off. I tried to work. I tried to get videos out. And YouTube just does not like, I guess, my wording because nothing bad was in them. So I haven't been able to release the videos yet. So hopefully they'll be reviewed by YouTube and I can release them. They were kind of bad. Like there's a lot of bad stuff going all over the United States, unrelated to, children disappearing. I mean, these are just stuff. And I was trying to use yesterday to show everybody what else is going on around the world, and it just didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But I've got a lot of great content that's going to be coming out. This is going to be one of our shorter lives, but I will come live later this afternoon just to hang out. And you guys can watch me work. Why not? But I've got lunch with Mama Bullhorn and my aunts today. So I've got to kill this like around 10:30, 10:45, the latest. And then I'll be back after lunch and we'll go live later this afternoon and talk about these cases a little more in depth, since you guys didn't see me yesterday. So you guys will get to see me twice today. So, and I've got great news. So tomorrow we are going live later in the day. I'm not sure exactly when. I'm thinking probably around 10:30-ish. We've got a special guest. Cher with Listen to Voices Behind the Wall is going to be coming up as a guest, and we are going to go through a particular interview she had and talk about it on here, and also just find out, how she got involved in all this and things like that. So you don't want to miss it. Again, tomorrow, it's going to be a later live. It's going to be around 10:30. I believe she's going to be on panel between 11 and 11:30. And we'll go from there. So I'm kind of really excited about it. It's going to be fun. So I hope you guys all come by and enjoy tomorrow with us here on the Bullhorn Betty channel for Coffee Club, just a later coffee club. That's all. So good morning, Crazy Nurse. Karen Davis, good morning. Granny Boots, nice to see you here. Tammy T, I am Team Summer. Michael Blade, good morning. Good morning. Lex Luthor, Anissa. I'm surprised Anissa's up. We're gonna go through some things. She's gonna be getting a little red. Guys, if you have not yet hit the like button, hit it on your way in. Or if you are already here and you haven't hit it, knock that little comment screen out and go out and make sure you give a thumbs up. It's free to tell me and the mods that work very, very hard for us to have fun on this channel. It's free to tell us thank you. So Susanna, another one that I'm surprised is up this morning. And I'll tell you why. Emma Lou, Harley's World, Karen G, Sasha, nice to see ya. Who else do we? Cotton Candy Boobs. Nice to see you here. Nice to see you here. Amber, Virgo, Sob. Nice to see you. I sent you an email. About done. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'll have to look at that email. Interesting. So good morning, Sasha. Susie Sue, Rhonda, Destiny Lynn. Benny B, nice to see you. Did I miss anybody? It just popped up on me. Texaholic, there you are. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Who else did I miss? Oh, Cotton Candy Boobs, thank you so much. Thank you for your love and support. Deborah, nice to see you. Connie Lynn, Munch. Amber, newest member. Amber. Hope and Truth, Suzette. Kaz Stewart, nice to see you guys all here. If I missed any of you guys, I do apologize. Thank you. For those that are new to this channel, this is the Bullhorn Betty channel. We are an entertainment channel on YouTube that covers true crime cases. Right now, we try to venture out and talk about other crime other than the most popular, but we still cover those as well. So many of you guys know, if you recognize me but don't know how, I was one of the original protesters in front of Gabby Petito's, Brian Laundrie's home, supporting Gabby Petito, along with Doug live from Northport and JLR and many others that came out to find out answers and to advocate for victims of domestic violence. Since then, we've followed cases out to Utah and Wyoming. We followed the last footsteps of Gabby Petito and looked into Kylan Schulte and Crystal Turner, the double homicide out of Moab, Utah. And then when we came back, we jumped in with the Summer Wells case. Since the Summer Wells case, which we came under massive scrutiny for the work we did on that case, and we've still since ventured out to other cases such as Michael Vaughn, Codi Bigsby, Harmony Montgomery, Serenity McKinney, Oakley Carson, and many others that we're facing and discussing to this day. As many of you guys know, Serenity McKinney was found. She has been laid to rest. We are still looking for a lot of little kids at this point in time that still have yet to be found. So it's just a sad situation. And then while we were doing that, this 19-year-old farmer from Utah disappeared off the face of the earth. And it's just one of those head scratchers as to what happened to that farmer. It seemed like he had his whole life ahead of him. He was doing really great. He was a good kid, just lived in a desolate area, just wanting to grow grain. And so those are the cases that we cover here on this channel. Today we are covering Summer Wells, Codi Bigsby, and Dylan Rounds. And we're just going to be touching ever so slightly on those. Good morning, FBI, Connie Lynn. It's nice to see both of you here this morning. Thank you, FBI, for everything, for you being here and whatnot. Good morning, Rhonda and Peg Gap. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So as many of you guys know, I just stated that, we're going to be having Cher on panel tomorrow in the later morning. I had an opportunity to go through an interview that Cher did almost a year ago. And I took copious notes of this call and some of the stuff that we are going to go over. And we're actually going to talk about some of those things today because, it just got the gears moving yesterday, watching this, in multiple interviews yesterday, just kind of got the gears moving and started getting me thinking. And there was a couple things that are kind of really, standing out to me in the Summer Wells case, right? So we're going to go over those in just a moment. But before we do, as many of you know, I love this book. It's called The Language of Letting Go. A lot of people that follow me have had their share of problems. Many have a story like mine, childhood trauma, drugs and alcohol, problems in life. We try to find our way. We've done everything we can. For me, it was really working on my childhood trauma, purging it, forgiving the people involved, letting it go so I could have a life of my own. And this book here is more for codependency, which is part of the disease, right? The codependency is part of the, domestic violence disease. That's what I consider it, a disease, because it changes you. It changes the way you think. It changes your mental state, your physical state, your emotional state. And it's progressive. So it starts out small and gets big. So it's kind of growing on you at times before you realize how bad it really is. So this is the book that helped me, let go of a lot of stuff as I was processing and, working on myself and trying to get my life in order and back on track. And, I was meant for this world other than what I was going through at the time. Give me just a second. I just realized my computer is not charging for some reason. There we go. There we go. I think we got it charging now. I didn't want to drop on you guys because my battery went empty. So on July, and a lot of it's dealing with emotions. And what I like about July in this language of letting go is that they are addressing your emotions. They're addressing, a lot of stuff. And this one is honoring your emotions. Like, we're wanting our emotions to go away. And now we have to feel them. We have to feel the emotion and we have to honor the emotion. Like, what is Bullhorn Betty over here talking about, right? Like, seriously? So let's just read this. So honor your emotions for July 12th. Inside me is a wheel, constantly turning from sadness to joy, from exhaustion to depression, from happiness to melancholy. Like the flowers, today's full bloom of joy will fade and wither into, uh, dependency. Yet I will remember that as today's dead flowers carries the seed of tomorrow's bloom, so too does today's sadness carry the seed of tomorrow's joy. And that was from O.G. Og Mandino, the greatest salesman in the world. That's what it came from, that book. Honor your emotions. They are important. They are an important part of you. They hold your connection to love, passion, joy, healing, and intuition. Not having emotions would make us cold robots. Emotions are part of the glory of being human. They're our connection to our heart. Respect and treasure your emotional self. Learn to cherish your variety of emotions. God help me become become the passionate, vibrant human being you created me to be. Help me feel all the emotions and embrace the glory of being alive. So, this is a great book. And yes, I look forward to each and every day because many of you know I probably shouldn't have been here, and I'm here. So very thankful for that. Good morning, PB&J. Nice to see you here. I definitely had undiagnosed PT from childhood trauma. Good thing with me, I can see the signs now. Yeah. And that's one of the things, when you're younger, you're in it, you don't really understand why you're going through this, why you're doing these things. You don't understand the why aspect of it. And it took many years for me as an adult to finally realize the only person that can help you at the end of the day is you. You can't rely on anybody else in this world but yourself in your time of need. If you have help, that's a bonus, right? That's a bonus, but it's not a requirement. So I always try to empower people, not just women, but people to go after their destiny, because again, you're the only person that can control yourself. Getting involved or getting started on these cases, we're going to jump right into Summer Wells. It's because I've done the most research on her in the last 24 hours preparing for my meeting with Cher tomorrow. And I think some of the things that really stuck out at me, we're going back and looking at the timeline, looking at what was stated by Don and Candus at the time Summer went missing. And I think there's just a few things that really bother me. One is the red truck. Okay. There's been this red truck. We know people down the road have red trucks. There was a red truck that morning that Don was dealing with on his way to work. Law enforcement could never find that red truck, could never find somebody in the red truck. We know Don has used a red truck from his work before. It sounded by the description that this red truck had, drywall buckets on it. It makes you wonder, especially, if we want to look at this entire case as maybe it was set up, right? We've heard some people, Don B came on yesterday and did a video about this very case and was decided to make his statement known, how he feels. Don B goes on and states that he feels that this was all planned. And when you start going back and looking at, including our interview with Dudley that we did, Don was acting weird on the 14th as opposed to the 15th. And we kind of dismissed it because the only person that had talked about his behavior on the 14th was Dudley. Since then, Don B got Jackie Dobbs on the record. Jackie Dobbs identified that same behavior almost to a T that was described by Dudley the day he got fired. Also in this interview, which I found interesting, is Don talks about how he takes his children to work with him all the time. Why is that important? Hey, Guidance, nice to see you. Oh, Harsh Reality, nice to see you in here. Nice to see you. Junior, I hope you play nice today. But again, Don Wells was acting a little odd on the 14th. Then, we have Chris McDonough coming on, and he was talking about the Summer Wells case and, how he feels. Many of us know that he was just on court TV talking to Vinnie, Politan, I think is Vinnie Politan on court TV, and they did that, and he was talking about the Summer Wells case. Good morning, Lana. Nice to see you. And so he goes on to, somebody had asked him, he was answering some questions in the chat. And one of the questions was, do you think that this could have happened the night? Well, I think the question was, do we believe that Don Wells was at work at the time? Right? Was he at work at the time? And then another question was, do we believe that Summer disappeared on the 15th as opposed to the 14th? And if I recall correctly, Chris McDonough basically said, that's a great question. That's a great question. Those are great questions, but I don't think we know the answer. I think we're all still speculating on that information. But could it be possible that something happened to Summer Wells on the 14th as opposed to the 15th? And then we go to JLR, his interview with the stable out there at the water hole, and them saying that the truck was there most of the day. And this, again, just causes, us to speculate so much. Yeah, and I remember that in Dudley's interview, that he was talking about the red car and being teased. And I think this is all being spun, because I look back at the water hole. Nobody had ever spoken to the people at the where the horses, the stables. And JLR got that on. And to hear them say that the truck was there most of the day, and they told TBI that, it worries me. It worries me. So related to the, and then another thing that he said in this interview is that he didn't know. Now, mind you, Don Wells has stayed at that property, 110 Ben Hill Road, for many years before his mother passed away. He acquired the property after his mother passed away by a quitclaim deed, and he has been living there since then. And he said that he had never known that there was any problems out there in Hawkins until he moved in, right? And that now, according to him, it's pretty common in the area to have that type of crime, and there's a lot of rough characters. But he had just said at the beginning of the interview that he was unaware of this. And not only that, but since then, since Summer I've never been out to Rogersville, Tennessee until this case. When we went out there, we saw no riffraff. We didn't see what he's describing here, right? We did not see this conduct from other people that lived in and around the area where Don and Candus lived, and where Summer was reportedly taken from, right? So it makes me wonder, was the riffraff Jody Sue, Andy Bernard, Don Wells, and Candus Bly? Because since they have been out of that area and off that mountain, it sounds like things have since calmed down immensely. I don't foresee them having the kind of conduct that they had out there. All that riffraff, he was talking about all the time about all these people with these problems, these substance abuse problems coming around, climbing up his mountain, stealing stuff off of his mountain. Those are not crimes of opportunity. Low-lying properties like the Chambers property down there on the corner, it's low-lying house. That would be more of a prime opportunity to steal or something like that than going up on a mountain with all these animals and all these people flopping around in that house, in my opinion. So even his statements to me don't hold true. Another point that is concerning for me is the lie detector test. His statement, and we're going to go over this in depth tomorrow. So just remember, the lie detector test is on the list. And we are going to discuss her thoughts on the Subaru. The Subaru. How many likes do we have right now? Guys, if you have not had an opportunity to like this video, please go out and do so. Thank you. So it was the Subaru. What the reason he stated he was driving the Subaru just seems sus to me. It seems sus. And why he went to the shed. These are all the questions we have. And we also find him making a mistake in stating, and he corrects himself, that Summer disappeared midday. She disappeared midday. At the time he stated this, we thought it was a mistake. But now that we fast forward to over a year later, and we're hearing that, the law enforcement is having problems with why it took 4 hours to report her missing. And then you go back and hear him state something about midday, your alarms start going off. It's just ding, 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 ding. Like red flags are flashing, bells are going off, light bulbs are popping out of your brain. And you're sitting here saying, did he make a mistake, or is that the truth in the lie? Right? We talk about that, the truth and the lie. And I really am starting to believe the truth in the lie. That she was gone midday as opposed to in the evening. And I want to explore that a little more. The dogs not being on the property that day. Where were the dogs? The dogs are always there. Every time we went to that property, dogs came off their property and down to meet us, except one time where they came from further up Ben Hill Road down to their property. So 4 hours to report her missing. Yeah. But again, it's going back to the beginning and looking at all this stuff, because we've heard their story change so much for over a year, that now when we go back to the beginning and listen to some of the first interviews, these things are glaring. We're seeing the changes so much bigger now than what we did when those changes and the script changes were happening in real time for us at the time. So that's some of the stuff that we are going to be going over with Share tomorrow. Just wanted to give you guys a little insight on that. We've got some videos coming out of my opinion about certain aspects of this, like the midday, the boys going to work with him. There's going to be some content coming out with me explaining my position on certain topics. So I hope you guys watch them. Hello, True Crime with Eve. I hope you are doing well this morning. If you guys haven't had an opportunity to go check out True Crime with Eve's page, she's really doing a lot of great work on Michael Vaughn. And actually, if many of you guys were here and following me, we actually had True Crime with Eve up here kind of explaining the Michael Vaughn case. I believe it was last week or the week before. Well, we're going to get her back up here because we did not learn enough. Even after that, I met with her that evening to get a little more in-depth behind the scenes information about Michael Vaughn. And it was a lot. She's done a lot of work on this case, an enormous amount of work. So we're going to actually have her come back and continue the conversation on Michael Vaughn. I believe today may be the day that Dolly, if I followed his... So let me tell you guys a story. Many of you guys know I go to bed early. like really early, like around 9, 9:30 tops. Well, last night I saw, I guess Dolly must be off of work, or, he doesn't work every single day where he works. He does YouTube and content and stuff like that. But either way, he must have been off work. So I guess he was going to go follow this Codi Bigsby, go on the search, do all those things. Great guy. Wants to go out and do his part for, Codi Bigsby. It's in his state. It's not too far from him. And just really, just 1 year missing, July 27th. Yeah, it does break my heart. It was partying last night. So anyways, he apparently must not have been going on his regular time. So I see this notification pop up that says, Dolly Vision, it shows his cases that he's going to cover is going to go live at 9 o'clock. And I'm like, okay, well, I never get to catch him live because, as many of you guys know, early bird is sleeping during night owls party time, right? So I always have to get him on replay, which is fine. Many of us, we love our creators. We love our creators. We'll watch them whenever we can watch them. Well, I said it. Apparently, I was so tired last night. I think I got to pop in there and say hi to everybody. I don't even know if I said hi to anybody, and I clunked out. Well, it's still, it's you got your phone. You can look stuff up on your phone and send it to your TV. Well, I just fell asleep in the bed with the TV running. Well, about, I want to say, what time was it? 12:30? Oh, Bull, I heard the voice. You might be able to fake Anissa's name, but you can't fake the lady's voice, period. Hands down, right? So I wake up. I guess I had to pee or whatever. What do you do in the middle of the night? You wake up. I'm used to sleeping with my TV on, so the noise wasn't bothering me. And I wake up, and the first thing I see is Dolly's face on my screen. I see several, like Angela D. I see Buddha Mike, Ricky Beaver. And then I see Susiana and Anissa. I look at my watch, and I think it's like 12:30 or 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm like, what are they doing up there? I mean, you're just hearing them laughing and having a good time. And, Bullhorn Betty just can't let this pass up, Apparently, they're flying out the StreamYard. And I'm like, I wake up, stretch the eyeballs open. Like, what are these girls doing? I have got to go up there and find out what in the world, coffee clubbers are doing up this late at night, especially two that I rely on to mod for me. Are they going to sleep through modding? No, I'm just joking. They're both here. They're both present. So I get up there and he lets me in. The first thing I do is, what are you and Anissa doing talking to Susiana from Louisiana. Like, what are you two doing up there? And they're just joking and having a great time. I got to be honest with you. If I could have stayed up any longer, I would have hung out for a long time. But it sounded like they were already on for several hours, I guess 4.5 hours or something by the time, or 4 hours by the time I got up there. And I'm doing everything I can not to fall asleep, because now I'm on StreamYard, right? And you don't want to hear somebody phone, so I'm doing everything I can. I got the phone down, my eyes are closed, I'm listening and I'm talking, and we had fun though. We had fun, and they got my opinion on the Dylan Rounds case, which is the next one we're going to kind of segue into. And that's of a 19-year-old boy that disappeared out of Utah, in the desolate area of Utah, on his farm, this huge farm that he has in the middle of nowhere. And as many of us know, there was 3 people charged with crimes not connected to Dylan Rounds, but in and around the area that he was. One that was walking down the road, wanted to borrow his phone. We got the hand that helped him out every now and again, that was squatting on an adjacent property. And another person that was associated with James Brenner and that squatting on the other property. He was also arrested, and I can't remember his name. I know somebody out there has. Hey, Chadwell, nice to see you. Hey, Tracy, nice to see you as well. Victoria, nice to see you. And Anissa fell asleep on panel. Oh, but here's the thing. So Anissa, which reminds me, I need to send Ricky Beaver an email, and I know I got his email written down here. I've got to send him an email, but just to say hi, and I've got to connect with him on. Facebook. But long story short, Anissa's up there, and Ricky was saying, "Hey, Bullhorn, I need your email. I never got that email from you, and this, that, and the other." I'm like, "Yes, that's right," because I remember writing it with my left hand. It's sloppy, but I wrote it with my left hand. I do see it here now, so I've got to reach out to him, and Anissa's like, "Well, go find her, her, what did you say, like her page or something like that? Don't you see her thumbnail?" And Ricky looks up and he's like, "No, ma'am, I don't see anything." If you guys don't know Ricky Beaver, he's blind. Like, he's a blind musician. Nice guy, God-fearing guy. He really has an idea of setting up this, I don't know, what is it? It's something for children. It's something for at-risk children. He wants to set up and have staffed and everything like that. It's like a passion item of his to have this school or, something for these children. But his heart's just all in the right place. But it was just so funny because it caught Anissa off. And I'm telling you, like, we all had our little, thumbnails on. We didn't show our face because, I'm half asleep. I'm not showing my bed head and, my face that time of morning because I'm half asleep. I look like crap, right? So we all have our thumbnails on, right? This right here, let me show you what we had on. That right there. That's what I had on. And so she's telling Ricky, "Can't you see her thumbnail?" And he's like, "No, ma'am, I can't see anything." I literally could feel Anissa's red face. I could literally feel it through the screen from her house to my house here in Florida. I could feel her red face. And it was funny, though. It was cute. It was funny, though. Yes. And he's just a sweetheart. He's just really a sweetheart. And I want to get him on here. I want to help him, anything to do with kids, anything to do with advocating for kids, getting a nonprofit organization and building something for children. I'm on board with it. I'm 100% on board. If anything is there, or if somebody wants to help children, as long as it is not something that's going to injure a child, obviously your heart's in the right spot. This is something, a passion item. This needs a lot of hands-on deck, a lot of work. I definitely want to be a part of it. I don't care. Hands down, want to be a part of anything good that can help children. So we might be doing something like that. But with the Dylan Rounds case, my biggest thing is where his truck was, where his shoes were, where his grain truck was, and where James Brenner is, right? And so I still think there's something with those shoes, because we know the truck was brought back to where he stays. His truck was parked in the right spot. His grain truck was not parked in the right spot. His shoes were not in the right spot. And so I truly believe that wherever they went, it muddied the truck. They probably tried to put the truck in four-wheel drive, and it didn't work because the four-wheel drive did not work. And I believe that they had mud, and that mud would have been able to help them locate where Dylan Rounds was all over that truck. And I do believe that because that mud was all over the truck, it was clear as day that they must have gotten that truck stuck somewhere. I believe that they had to clean the truck. I believe that they parked the truck where the truck would have normally been parked because these are people that were accustomed and familiar with Dylan Rounds' work habit, work ethic, as well as knowing his routine. I believe James Brenner would have known his routine because he's helped him on the farm before. He's helped him with his grain. And I believe that they brought the truck back and somebody actually had to walk back the 5 miles to where the grain truck was and where his shoes were found. And I believe that shoes are key because I have a funny feeling the reason why the shoes were 5 miles away was one of two things. When somebody dropped the truck back off, they were barefoot and needed shoes to walk back the 5 miles. And then once they got there, they took the shoes off and tossed them. Or it could be whenever he went back to his grain truck, somebody was lying in wait or somebody ran across him while he was dealing with his grain truck. And they probably had him take his shoes off because your captor wants to control, who they're capturing, right? And when you don't have your shoes on, it makes it harder to run away quicker. So by removing the shoes, the person is more under control. So that means that the altercation may have actually happened at the grain truck as opposed to his pickup truck 5 miles away. So I just think that there's a lot of stuff going on and around there. And again, this is just my speculation. This is my opinion based on what I'm reading. I have not been out there. I haven't gotten a feel of the area. I haven't gotten a feel of the grounds. This is just from what I am reading and trying to put together. As many of you know that have been following me for a while, I also believe that everything we read goes out the window when we're on the ground. Because there's been so many cases from Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie, Kylan Schulte, Summer Wells that I read online and had a picture in my mind exactly what happened, and then go out there in person and have a whole different aspect of what could have happened because I'm there personally. I am now seeing it, and there's that my thought process has changed because I see that there's no way this could have happened because of this. And I couldn't see that because I was reading an article online. But being out there, I get a whole different perspective. And it's usually 95% different than what I was reading online or viewing and the commentary of others. That's why I like going out and visiting these locations personally and speaking to the people myself, because there's no misunderstanding. I don't misunderstand people when I'm speaking to them myself. Dylan is on the farm or surrounding area unless someone says exactly where they will never find him. I believe that. I believe that, Harsh. I absolutely, there's so much out there, and those people have lived out there so long. They know the area. They know even the police officers, they're not from that area. They're in that area, but they're not from that area. They don't know all the hide and go seek places. I think that's what we're dealing with sort of with Summer Wells as well, right? We're dealing with the same kind of, different environments, but similar situations where there's so much land. It's literally a needle in the haystack. And it's sad. It's sad. So as promised, I'm not going to take out, I want to hear your thoughts on these cases. The last case we're going to just touch on right now is Codi Bigsby, a little 4-year-old boy that went missing at the beginning of the year. Has not been found from since. His father is being held in court or in jail for unrelated charges to him. But either way, he is without a doubt a suspect, and they believe that, whether people like hearing this or not, and I'm sorry to say this, but when a preacher is starting to tell you something, you need to start listening, in my opinion. I'm not telling you guys what to do. Those minds, yeah, they're deep. Yeah, absolutely, Harsh. There's definitely something that's going on out there. They know where this boy is. They need to search the reservoir near his farm, ZZT says. Nature lover, good morning. Good morning, Justice for All. Nice to have you here. Did I miss anybody? If I missed you, I'm sorry. Hi, Mary. Nice to see you. Robin, nice to see you as well. Ruby Jean. Oh, Amy, our friends Amy and Just Legs. Nice to see you. They didn't wash the wheel, and that dirt can be analyzed exactly where it has been. Yes. And I hope they do that. My problem is they, law enforcement initially, to me, did not follow proper protocol and could have damaged evidence. And that is the worst scenario, the worst case scenario you can have. I'm very interested in those shoes because I'm sure they're processing them, and I'm sure they're going to check the insides and find out what the DNA in and outside of those shoes are, especially with the blood stain. But with those shoes being in somebody's car for 5 days and that blazing heat, I don't know what kind of effect that had, if any. It may not have any effect on it, but it's just still poor judgment from the law enforcement not to turn those in as they were supposed to do. Guys, the phone lines are open. I'm opening the phone lines up if you guys would like to call in. We're going to still talk about Codi Bigsby and dive in a little bit on that while we wait for the phones to ring and whatnot. So if you guys have any comments that you would like to state about Summer Wells, your opinion, what you think. I'd like to know what you guys think happened. Like we're talking about 3 cases here. We're talking about Summer Wells, Codi Bigsby, and Dylan Rounds. If you have any speculation, if you have any perspective, if you have any information that's, maybe a clue that we missed, that we didn't pick up on, what would that be? I'm interested. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts. James Brenner, bad dude, rotten dude, right? Rotten to the core. Has had 30 years of criminal conduct associated with guns. He is a felon and he continuously carries firearms. He is not learning his lesson. And now they have charged him federally for those crimes, those gun crimes. The feds don't play. He's in federal custody, not state custody, not local custody, federal custody. They don't play. So he's definitely, whether or not going to be charged with Dylan Rounds at all, he's definitely going to be facing some major time in jail, because this is not the first time this has happened. With Codi Bigsby, there's a lot of weird stuff that goes on in and around the area there. Let me see if I can pull this up. Give me just a second. Let me get the Google Maps up and we'll kind of go over it. So while that's pulling up, we're going to take a look at some things over here. And in this area here, we have the apartment complexes where Codi and Cory lived with, he had other siblings, one that was a 5-year-old and two twins that were 2 years old. The reason why Cory Bigsby is in jail right now is because he left his children home. And I believe he left his children home alone a lot. I think that is the problem here. He left his children home, and he left his children home a lot alone. And many don't realize that the oldest child was only 5 years old. And there were two 2-year-old twins in the home that 5-year-old child had to watch. Did Harmony, Kayla, and Adam also car accident silver fly? I don't know, Tracy. I don't know what your question is. I'm assuming that you're asking, were they in an automobile accident? I'm unsure. So in this area, he was in a nice, it appeared in for all intents and purposes, in a safe community, right? He appears to be in a safe community. This is kind of the area. They said the 100 block of Ranelette Drive was the apartment where he was last seen at 2 a.m. in the morning before. And I think he was called in between 7 and 9 a.m. as a missing person. A neighbor out looking found clothes. Now, I don't know if this pin is that specific. I'm assuming based upon, I want to make sure that this is clear. I have no information where this jacket was found, other than it was behind, they talk about how they got to the portion where the jacket, and I tried to follow an article on how the neighbor and law enforcement found this jacket. I'm assuming that this jacket was in this area here is where it was found. I don't know. It could have very well been over here in this area. I'm unclear. So I pegged it. If people know where that is, let me know so I can adjust that pin to the appropriate spot. Do you remember the Samuel Olson case? What happened and what was done with the body? This might be the case. Samuel Olson, I'm going to put it on my list. I don't know. And no, I do not recall that that particular case. I apologize. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. I just ripped my map. My Don Wells map just ripped. You heard that? That was the rip right there. I just ripped the map. I gotta tape it now. I hate when that happens. So Samuel Olson. Samuel Olson. Let me put him on the list. No, I don't remember. Actually, let me just look. Guys, the phone lines are open. The phone lines are open. Is it Olson? Wow, this is a while ago. Let's see what they got going on here. Samuel Olson told his grandma, his dad, and Teresa Balboa were mean. It was the last time she saw him alive. Aw, look at that little face. Look at that little face. The grieving family of a 5-year-old Samuel Olson have great many questions and a few, if any, answers. The child's body was found June 1st, stuffed in a yellow and black plastic box in a Texas hotel room occupied by the girlfriend. All right, hold on, let me pull this back. Sit tight, I'm getting to you. This is Betty.
This is ZZT.
Well, hello, ZZT. You have been absent. I don't think I saw you yesterday. I'm just joking. I wasn't live yesterday.
Because you said on Sunday you were taking the day off.
I did. And I actually did a few videos, but they'll probably be released hopefully sometime today. We'll see how YouTube acts.
Yeah. The two or three things. One, the Codi Bigsby case. I was surprised to find that the child had the wherewithal to put a jacket on before he left the house.
Mm-hmm.
That surprised me.
Well,
So
could it have been staged? Could it have been strategically placed?
That's what I'm thinking. Or an adult was involved. And the other thing is, on Don Wells, I was watching JLR yesterday, and he's made it known that he wants to get the boys back and go to Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be horrible, just horrible, because it would be the same old thing. Mm-hmm. They don't go to school, they don't get proper food, they don't get proper care, they live in squalor.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, and by the way, where the heck is Candus?
Good question. Good question.
And
Don B actually had a video out where she passed him. She was in the red Subaru. And that brings me to another point that I forgot about. Who's paying the payments of the red Subaru? Candus isn't working. Don's in jail. She's not doing her lives on YouTube anymore. Where's she getting the money to make her monthly payments on her car?
Well, she might be doing the same thing the stepmother to the Montgomery kid, stealing from the government. Or if she keeps on the move, they can't find it.
Yeah.
The bank can't find it if she keeps on the move. We're talking about career criminals. And
yes.
Speaking of criminals, I was watching Chris McDonough about the alias in like 3 or 4 different states.
Mm-hmm.
That just puts a whole new cog in the machine. Makes you wonder. And then the real thing I was calling about is Dylan Round.
Mm-hmm.
If someone else drove his truck, there would be DNA. And again, I don't know what who it was that posted a few minutes ago, there's dirt in the wheel wells. I'm not sure it would help because he went back and forth so much.
Yeah.
It'd be hard to figure it out. But I haven't read or heard a thing about them checking the reservoirs. And there's one, I think, really big one, like 20 miles away.
Mm-hmm.
But again,
well, in my opinion,
know.
wherever they went, wherever they took them, they got stuck. I truly believe wherever they went, they got that truck stuck.
Yes. And they had to have taken it to a car wash with a pressure washer because I doubt he had,
or
he was living off of water tanks there on the farm. You know, he was having water shipped in, I think.
But I have to think he may have had, I mean, him being out there in nomad's land, who's to say he didn't have, or somebody in and around the area didn't have a pressure cleaner?
Yeah, true. But that's just my 2 cents today.
Mm-hmm.
I've been already out in the 90+ degree weather.
Ugh.
My allergies are raging again.
My allergies have been going off for about 2 months now. I want to say about 2 months they've been driving me nuts, but it's getting better. Today I wasn't as, like, when I wake up, I can always tell first thing in the morning how bad the allergies are because my eyes and my nose and everything.
My drainage, I've started using saline for my nose. It helps so much.
Yeah.
But that's it.
All right, love. Well, you take care.
Today.
Thanks for calling in, and you have a blessed day, ZZT.
All righty.
Take care.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
So there was ZZT, but and justice for all, the reason why I pinned your comment here is because when was the car paid off? Because as of August 7th, that was the excuse Don stated. Let me read this. I actually wrote the statement down about the red car. Oops, wrong. Is it in this one? No, it's not this one. It's this one. I got my notes. I got the one I take my notes on, and I got one that I put my, like, this is my list of things I need to do, and this is my list of information. So I got too many things going on here. There we go. So what he said about the red car. Cher asked him why he chose to drive the car that day, but he didn't respond. And that was he didn't respond until much later in the conversation. I better have it here. I know it. So he says, the reason why he drove the red car that day, he says, since the boys have been out of school, it's just been sitting there. And I'm paying quite a bit of money for it and thought I might as well get some use out of it. So that's where my question came in as to where and when, because this conversation happened on August 7th, 2021. And he's talking about how he's paying quite a bit of money for the car. So my question, it's a newer car. Where would he have come up with the money to have paid that car off? I'm just curious. I'm not saying that you guys aren't being truthful. I didn't know it was paid off until somebody is bringing it up in here. But I didn't know it was paid off because back on August 7th, 2021, he's talking about the amount of money he's paying for it and how he's not getting use for it. And that sounds like a monthly car payment that he's referring to. So it makes me wonder, apparently a rainstorm out there. So let's read what Harsh has to say here. There was apparently a rainstorm out there, so it may not have been washed. It may have been the rain, explaining why the wheel arches were still muddy and no tracks. Good point. Good point. So there's that possibility. At what time was the car paid off in full? Was that after Summer went missing? At some point after she went missing? Yeah, you need car insurance sticker. Yeah, exactly. Monthly car insurance is not cheap. I believe someone paid the car for them and they took a loan against the car from a title loan to pay the person back. Well, then they just made it more difficult. Like sometimes these these title loans have more interest on them than a car lot loan. So that doesn't seem like that was a smart thing to do. But hey, who knows? They are paying hefty insurance on the car, but was paid in cash. Okay, gotcha. But still, how is she? We have to have auto insurance. We have to have tags. I don't know what the requirements. Some people have you have to go there for exhaust and stuff like that, like California, and get a ticket that your car meets the ozone requirements of the United States of America or something crazy to that effect. I don't deal with it here in Florida, so I was just curious. Apparently, he got the car paid in full. Okay, so people are too gracious with their money. They just are too gracious, especially for somebody that never was cleared in the disappearance of their daughter. They now have a $600 month payment, you said early on. So yeah, that's what that's where I'm curious about. Who, they said that they were paying an awful lot of money for this car, and she's still driving it. So if it was paid off, she still has to have insurance on it. But who's paying this stuff? Who's paying this stuff? Some states make pay taxes on vehicle. Yep. Trudy says, I live on dirt road. You will always have a lot of mud in the wheel wells. So it could have also been just staining. But they specifically said it looked like the car had been washed as opposed to, it being washed by rain. It looked like apparently the law enforcement believed somebody had tried to clean that truck. So there were payments on the car. So there is a valid point on here, guys, because somebody was paying the car payments for them. So I'm curious as to when probably pole dance somewhere. I don't know if she'd be a great pole dancer. I don't know if she can get her butt up. I'm going to stop. Stop. Harsh, you're going to take me right into a rabbit hole. Oh my goodness. Guys, don't forget the phone lines are open. If you guys got something to say, call in 941-405-3357. So we do have conflicting statements in here. Some people state that the car's paid off. Some people state that somebody was making the payments on the car. And even if the car is paid off, where is the monthly insurance coming from? Candus isn't working. She's MIA. Where did she go? And since she's gone, I'm curious if there's anybody in the audience that lives around Ben Hill Road. Can you tell me, has things cleaned up a lot since Jody Sue's moved off the mountain, since Don Wells is in jail and Candus is MIA and Grandis has gone back to wherever she came from? Where is, how's the rift raft? Were they the cause of the rift raft in that area? I'm curious. So if you guys know anybody that's in and around that area, I'd like to talk to them. I'd like to, if they don't want to go on the record, I'll keep them confidential. But I'm definitely curious in finding anybody in and around the Rogersville, the Ben Hill area, the Beach Creek area, if they can tell me if things settled down. I have a funny feeling what we're going to find out is the rift raft was primarily Jody Sue, Andy Bernard, Don Wells, and Candace Bly. For whatever reason, I don't know why I feel that way, but I just feel they were the cause of a lot. Any updates on Doug Northport? Wendy, let's just go over here and check and see what's on Facebook, if we have any updates on Facebook. I haven't checked in a few days. We do know that Jason Sternquist has an arraignment on August 12th. There are actually creators that are coming in. And we talked to some of the creators that want to come out and support this. And we're like, we're playing the devil's advocate. What if, the court date changes? What if he doesn't show up in person? What are we going to do then? And Susanna is like, it doesn't really matter. We're still going to do something positive. We're still, as a group, going to do something positive for Doug, for this cause. Whether it's going over to Doug's house and cleaning it, mowing the yard, doing some things to help him and help his family out. We can definitely do something productive that week of August 12th when Jason Sternquist is supposed to go into court. We want our voices to be heard, that we're tired of the bullying. We're tired of the stalking. We're tired of the harassment online. And, some of these people have to understand even though people are on YouTube and may be successful on YouTube, doesn't mean they've got everything going right for them. I identify, after being on here for 7 months, I have identified there's people that, have some problems, and they can easily be incited to do terrible things. And we've got to be, as creators, be careful of that and make sure that we're not inciting unintentionally or intentionally our base, that where they will go and attack and harass and stalk people. We as creators need to make sure that we ourselves don't allow our emotions to overcome us, where we become that person. There's a lot of responsibility, in my opinion, people need to have. Being a creator, a successful creator on this platform. And we have a duty to, do our thing, but also do it in the safest way possible, if that makes sense, for our audience as well as for ourselves. I don't think that what I do should ever jeopardize my life or anybody else's life. It's important work, but it's not that important that it's worth anybody's health. Period. I just don't think that. Make a huge sign for Doug for his house from his fans. Oh, that's a great idea, Susanna. That's a great idea right there. Maybe we should do like a little carpool in and around his house, just thanking him for all of his work, telling us that, that's cute. That's a cute idea. Thank you. Thank you. We can do something for the community on his behalf. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hands down. So kind of getting excited to that. If many of you guys have been watching Justice for All's coverage, as well as Molly Golightly's coverage on Justice for Vaughn, it is a crazy story. I've been monitoring it. I've been meaning to produce like a little video about that. They have really good coverage. It is definitely a case that nobody's really covering but them. And it is, I'm surprised, even for myself, outside of bringing it up, I'm not really exposing the work that's being done. And I will try to get something out, in the next day or two. I'm kind of behind schedule, and I apologize about that. But if you guys have not heard about the Justice for Vaughn, I really recommend you guys going over there and looking at some videos that Marissa, Molly Golightly, and Justice for All has put out. They've even collaborated quite a bit on discussing this case, and it is crazy. I mean, it's got all the bells and whistles of, something that's going to be a movie one day. It really does. It's insane, and it captivates you. It captivates you that this kind of stuff is going on. It really does. And so if you haven't watched it, we will be covering and touching on it here later this week about this case. But I do recommend, it is definitely something that'll perk your attention. If you guys can, go over to Molly Golightly and Justice for All for your coverage related to Justice for Vaughn. Crazy story. You will not believe what is truly going on. It is sad. My heart breaks for Marvin's family, his parents. It breaks. His wife, Andrea, there's a special place in hell for this woman. Like, I truly believe she is a sick puppy and nobody is doing anything to stop her. And I just feel like it's gone too far. I'm curious as to what's going to happen in this case. But yes, Marvin's life matters. So I wanted to make sure that they got the plug for that, because again, it is truly a case that it sparked my curiosity, right? It sparked my curiosity. It sparked my curiosity for days. It's just that I have been working on, once you're kind of got your mindset, for me, I probably should have veered right, but I didn't. And we will figure it out. This is Betty.
Hi, this is Little Dove.
Hey, Little Dove, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing amazing. So what would you like to talk
amazing.
about?
I want to talk about Summer Wells. I'm really confused on this case.
Yeah.
I keep going back to, like, I think Don Sherfy might be involved.
Yeah.
Or her parents, which I really am heartbroken about that.
Yeah.
I think it's horrible.
Yeah. The reason why, this isn't the only reason, well, part of the reason. Like, I don't think Don was an old retired sheriff, or not retired, but he worked out at the sheriff's, the jail. His
I'm
son.
talking about his son.
Yeah, his son, the best of my understanding, when we were out there, was nowhere near that property, was not even in Hawkins County. He was actually in Sullivan County, where he resides, which is not too far, but I don't think he had anything to do with it.
Thank you for clearing that up for me, because I was confused about that too.
Yeah,
you know how you hear so many different things.
Yeah, and his father does live on Ben Hill Road. I mean, there's no if. I mean, we met his father. His father came out there and told us about the Wells, and he was a bigger, stockier guy, but he, at the end of the day, was a nice guy. He wasn't rude or a jerk or anything like that.
Well,
but even if it was his son, it doesn't explain the behavior of Don and Candus. Nothing will ever explain that behavior, and that, to me, is just guilt. And we've seen it before. We've seen it in Trezell West and Jackie West's behavior.
Oh, yeah, that was terrible.
And they're in jail for the crimes against their sons.
Yeah, but how come Candus or Don has not? I mean, Candus hasn't been arrested. I just can't believe that.
And I think that's the question we all are having. And I think it's hard every day that we see, Candus being able to drive down the street and stuff like that. Yeah. It's almost like a slap in the face to us. It feels like a slap in the face to poor baby Summer. But I don't know why. I don't.
Well, I thought maybe you might have an insight into it, since you're, we
sat down. So let me just explain this. We sat down with the assistant district attorney when we were in Rogersville in, I think it was December. I'm pretty sure it was our very first trip. That's when we did our fact-finding mission. And we went there, and they actually told us that they would sit down and speak to us, which they did. It might have been January. We might have seen them in January, but I have a funny feeling we saw them in December. I can't remember which. And they told us that when they get charged, they will charge them with everything that they can possibly charge them with. But my question is, why are you waiting so long? Why does it have to be everything all in one case? We don't see that in any other state. We see them, like, even with Stephanie Shenefield, the bartender here in my town. They charged the man with 1 crime, then 2 crimes, then 3 crimes, then 6 crimes, then 7 crimes. We're seeing, even in Codi Bigsby case, where they arrested the father, early on, and they gave him an opportunity to tell him what happened. They believe he's being deceptive. They finally got tired of it. They went to the grand jury. They pled their case to the grand jury, and the grand jury handed down them a 30-count indictment against crimes against his children.
That's right.
And
that was the right thing to do.
And that was the right thing to do. So why this is not being followed in Tennessee? Why Tennessee and TBI and the FBI are not pursuing the crimes against the children, as opposed to, unrelated to her disappearance? Why they're not charged? I don't know. I don't know. They have the case to do so. So don't believe that they don't have enough evidence to take that to trial. They do. They do.
Oh, yes,
and they
they
know
do.
they do.
Oh, yeah.
And they know we know that they do. And I don't
Yeah.
understand why they're not. I don't.
Yeah, I don't either. It's so sad and very tragic on these cases.
Mhm.
These children need to be protected. Unfortunately, from the ones that are supposed to be taking care of them.
Mhm.
That's so sad to me.
It's very sad. And we deal with this all the time in our
I know.
in
I
what we
know.
do.
I bet.
These parents, you know,
Look-
and like people are raising Cain right now because, you know, we're looking into Michael Monkey Vaughn's case, and people are trying to redirect our attention away from the parents, and I don't like that. If
No, I
you truly
don't either.
believe somebody is innocent, it doesn't matter how many times people poke or look under the hood or pull back the curtain or pull back the layer of onion. If you've got nothing to worry about, don't worry about it. Attacking
Right.
people for asking the questions and looking at the case in a way, and you're attacking them for doing that, that to me is red flags. Like, you don't need to attack somebody just discussing the case, whether you like what they're discussing or not. When you start attacking people for their evaluation of something, that to me is a red flag. Why are you so invested into somebody else's life that you are literally attacking somebody that's just trying to get to the truth?
Yes, I don't understand that, and I see it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I see it a lot, and I think it's not right.
Yeah, and we dealt with it with Summer Wells. You know, everybody
Oh,
attacked
big time,
everybody
I know.
that
Oh
wanted
my
to look at
God.
the parents. And now a lot of those people that were attacking the creators that were talking about the parents are now listening to those creators that were talking about the parents, because they are finally coming to the realization that Summer just wasn't picked up by a UFO and taken away.
That's right. That's right. So true. Oh my gosh, these poor children, Betty, I just feel so bad for them.
I do too. I do too. And something,
Yeah, I know.
I
You
was-
work really hard. I appreciate that.
yeah. And then we talked to somebody from overseas, and they're saying, we don't have these kind of things going on in our countries. And
I know.
and I'm sitting here scratching my head. Then why is it going on in the United States of America? Why?
That's what I want to know. Why so bad?
Yeah.
Do you think drugs has a lot to do with
I
it?
think
or not?
it has an enormous, I think the dependency on the drugs and alcohol is what's doing it. I don't think, you know, we are spending so much money collectively from state to state. They are collecting taxes for specifically earmarked for child welfare.
Wow.
And they're mismanaging those funds so much so that our social workers are underpaid and overworked. You know, these are, you know, it's not, I hate beating, there are just some crappy social workers. Let's be honest with any organization, just like officers, there are just some crap officers. There's some crap social workers. There's some crap doctors. There's some crap EMTs. I mean, there's just, you know, no matter how you look at it, there's going to be some shenanigans or bad actors in every type of industry. But you know, I truly, I don't understand why these children are constantly being failed. And I almost feel that it's not necessarily the social worker, it's the government that's handcuffing our social workers from being able to do their job properly, because they're not giving them enough funding. They're not addressing the issues that need to be addressed with them. They're not dealing with the interstate issues, you know, from state to state, moving from state to state. We do not have a centralized system so states can communicate with each other. I mean, it is really, really bad. We're in 2022. How do we not have a centralized database for our children?
I want to know.
We can do it for criminals. We can do it for murderers and DNA and things like that, but we can't protect the most precious in our country, our most vulnerable, our children.
Yeah. It's shameful. It really is.
It is.
Do you think we can change it?
We do. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Good. People are going to be offended by my response, but you know, at the end of the day, it can be changed. Instead of sending money overseas, takes a portion of that money that they're sending overseas and invest it in our children.
Yes, and I agree with you 100%. They're our future. We have to protect them. They're our, you know, our kids.
Absolutely. and they are being failed.
Yeah.
And we're seeing it in
Yeah.
real life every single day.
Every single day, and it's so sad. But I'm glad we have people like you, us, that care, you know.
And not only
And I
that,
know
but
we can do
actually
something.
advocating for changes. I mean, you know, it's one thing to come on YouTube and talk about all the problems that are plaguing the system, but you know, with me, it's moving that needle forward. It's actually involving other politicians and
Oh, yeah.
traveling to advocate for these children and advocate for changes in the system. People are complaining about the system, but who's actually getting off their duff and trying to fix it?
You do, and you're a great example.
So, and we
Thank
need
you
more.
for
We
all
need
you
more
do.
people getting out there. And if I can inspire one person to show up at their Board of County Commissioners meeting in their town and start advocating for these children, if we just apply and it's just one at a time and you start going, we can spread this out. This can be a major issue we can bring attention to and say, we as the public, as your employer, have had
Right.
enough. We want our children protected. We want better procedures and protocols in place so children aren't victims. We're tired of having these conversations.
We are. And I'm going to go do that. I live in Washington State, and I will do that because I didn't know where to begin.
It's all at
Well,
the
I'm
ground
letting you
level.
know.
Your county commission, your city council meetings, it's going there and constantly advocating for children and saying, you know, and finding examples in your own community as to what policies and procedures could be changed to help those people. And if we take that and we move it from county to county, state to state, we will have true grassroots advocacy for our children and the changes that are needed in the welfare system, the child welfare system abroad.
Thank you, Betty. You're an inspiration, and I'm going to do that.
I appreciate it. And if you ever need help, reach out to me.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I will.
Take care. God bless and have a great day.
God bless and have a great day. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice conversation. Yeah, children need protection 100%. And we're seeing this stuff. It's got to be embarrassing for these states and counties and stuff to have to admit that they were wrong and it cost a child their life, like they're dealing with right now with Harmony Montgomery. Their decisions specifically led to what had happened. Giving her back to her abusive father that was a felon and a violent criminal was a horrible decision that judge will forever have to live with. And believe me, you know, I don't believe judges ever try to, they're not out there to injure children. Many of them have their own children and probably are bleeding hearts and think, you know, nobody's better than a parent of a child. Well, that's not necessarily true because each and every day we come here and we go to our favorite creators and we watch the despicable things parents are capable of doing. So we have to change our mindset. Not all children are better off with their parents. At one time, I used to believe that children should never be removed from their parents. That was when I was younger. That was when I was way younger, 17, 18, 19, when I had the bleeding heart. Now I could care less about the parents. It's all about the child. It's all about the child's health and well-being. It's not about, you know, PC. It's about what is in the best interest of that child. And there are just times when being with your own darn parents are not in the best interests of that child. And it has a lot to do with the state of our young people. The movies telling them that, you know, doing substances is cool and makes you a cool person. Well, being cool at a young age leads to lifelong issues that you have into adulthood because you want to be the cool kid. And you want to have all the cool stuff and you want to do all the recreational stuff that you can do. Well, guess what? That recreational stuff turns into real life addiction where it ruins your entire life as an adult. And people that are dependent on them are not thinking about their children. They're thinking about themselves and they're thinking about their next fix and how they can get it and whether their children can help them get it or be pawns in that. Drugs are bad. Drugs are bad. There's some really bad stuff out there on the streets, and our government has just laid down. They've just laid down. They really have. We used to, when I was growing up, we had the war on drugs. The war on drugs, right? All these years later, never fixed the problem, but now they're handing out needles and pipes so people can use cleanly, right? What in the world happened? That's just advocating to use, which is killing our children. I'm appreciative of channels like this. We need more channels like this. We can organize and make happen. I truly believe it. Yeah. And it's everybody doing their part. You know, Dolly talks about it all the time. Some people, you know, don't have a lot of resources, right? But they do have the ability to show up at their board of county commissioner meeting free of charge and advocate and tell their board county commissioners, we're tired of our children being under attack. We need stricter laws. We need stricter penalties. Parents need to be treating their children properly, feeding them, giving them a clean environment to live and thrive in. And that's everything that Candus and Don did not do. And I keep wondering if anybody has access out there in Rogersville. Did Candus really register Summer for school? I want to know that. I want to know the answer to that, because she stated that she had already taken her to the doctor and got her shots and got her work paperwork, and she was supposed to start school in September. I want to know if she really did that. I really do. Oh, yeah, we're close, guys. We are super duper close to me hitting my 10,000 subscriber mark. So if you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Share this this page. Share, you know, we have these types of conversations. I've been opening up the phone line so you guys can have your voices be heard. Whether you oppose my viewpoints or not, we love new perspective. We love having a conversation. And as Amy says, we're living in a bizarro world. And so I can tell you, because of that, I will probably never be out of business, right? There's so much crazy out there in the world. But I feel that it's our duty not just to watch the crazy, but try to advocate against it the best that we can and try to make changes so we don't have to keep going through this. We didn't get like this overnight, and we're not going to be fixed overnight. This has got to be a long process to get this stuff stopped. As far as our started school. So they said, yes, she did. And there was an interview with the guidance counselor confirming that she was registered for school. I have not heard of a guidance counselor. I have not even. So if you've got the link to that, I would like to review what was said. Is Cam in here? If Cam's in here, hey Cam, hope you're doing well. Oh. But anyways, that's it. Cam, if you wanted to call in and just give your perspective, there's the number. I'd love to hear from you. See what your, you know, we covered a lot. What do you think about the red car? Who is making the payments on that? You know, how did they get it paid off? Because like I said, as of August 7th, 2021, when this interview was taken, he was saying he was spending an awful lot of money on the car. So I'm just curious about that. And maybe you have some information about the lie detector test too, because I'm a little confused about that. Because also Don stated that they asked him for a lie detector test immediately. And then he said he corrected that. And WJHL, okay, I'll look for that. Thank you. And they said something to the effect of they asked for his lie detector test immediately, but he didn't take it for a couple days. That when they took him down, I think it was a day or two later, maybe the 16th or 17th, he had been up for days, and he was falling asleep during the testing, which I found a little peculiar. So I didn't know if you had any information related to that. And also, he stated it was several days after that Candus finally took her test and was reportedly had passed her test. But the WJHL article stated that I think it was day 8 or 9 after Summer had went missing was the date that Candus had actually passed her lie detector test. That Don had just came out and reported that she finally passed her lie detector test, but it was at day 8 or 9. And he's stating that it was only like 3 or 4 days after. But I remember the article saying, as we're going into the second week, Don Wells has reported that as of today, Candus has passed her lie detector test. That was in the article. So that does give me a point of reference as to when she passed her lie detector test, but it wasn't until approaching that second week or into that second week of Summer missing. I didn't know if you had any information or could clarify that for me if I'm understanding that correctly. And that was according to a WJHL article as well. Oh, Australia. Nice to have you here. Nice to have you. We've been twice a year primary school for free. Some schools have dental set up $600 a year for teen until they're 17, given your choice of dentist, governor schools. Thank you. That's interesting. Yeah, we need just more for children. And I keep wondering what happened to her poor tooth. It looked like she chipped her tooth and it started coloring. She went from this vibrant, vivacious, beautiful young girl. Those photos from that Christmas party that her and her brothers attended, her looking just beautiful and healthy, and she was smiling. And then you look at the photo of her shaved head, her tooth all brown, and it's like in 1 year, she went from this beautiful, bouncing little girl, and we saw some photos of her with her shaved head, some where she's hunched over. She just stopped looking happy. It's like she was just a shallow soul, in these photos. Now, is that necessarily true? I don't know. That's just how I feel when I see some of those photos. And what would have happened from the time she was at that Christmas party to the time that she disappeared that would change her appearance so much? It's sad to me. It's really, really sad. So our school has dental and health at school daily. Yeah, they use insurance. If you have it, free when you don't. Starts at age 3. Oh, that's good to know. That's good to know. She looks malnourished. Yeah, it's devastating. This is Betty.
Hey, Betty.
Hey,
Betty.
Hey, Tanya. How are you doing?
This is becoming too much of a, just too much. Okay, so I'm thinking about Summer Wells. You were just talking about 1 year to the other. Okay, so I had heard, and I don't remember who it was. There's so much information. We can't keep it straight. At least I can't. I know you take notes.
I've got notebooks literally all over this house. It's insane.
My notes are all in my head, and my head ain't all that straight anymore, But okay, so I remember somebody saying that one of the boys was so sick with it impacted
tooth.
No, stomach issues.
Wow.
Bowels or impacted.
Okay, I understand what you're saying now. Yeah.
Guts. That he had to be rushed to the hospital and such because they don't take care of medical stuff with their children, obviously.
Yeah.
The burn. There's all kinds of stories that they didn't take their kids to the hospital for something other people would have. Like they're a bunch of dogs in the yard, but I'm not going to go in there. All right, so what if she was getting ill like her brother was in some way, that impacted, I don't know if it was his bowels or his intestines or what it was, but I do remember. Yeah, 50 more likes. Yeah, well, let's get them likes, people.
Get those likes up.
Them likes up. Let's get that 10,000 too.
Yes, I know. We're just that close. We're that close.
I know, right? I'm up there. I got 2 channels. I have two things I watch, so I'm twice on you guys. So, but yeah, what if something like that was going on with her? I mean, yeah, I get all the other scenarios too, but what if it was something that simple as she was sick inside, going sepsis or something to that effect? Because it happens when you don't take care of children. especially when they're so small and so young and vulnerable to. I mean, they can only take something for so long.
Yeah.
It's like any of us, really. It just makes. Yeah, and you were talking about how she changed from a happy little girl to this shell, which sad that we all see it, and it is very, very sad. We can all identify with what you're saying there, and it just made me think something about them not taking their kids to the hospital and the other boy having to be rushed because he had an impacted intestine or something to that effect, and I can't remember. It was like throwing up poo.
Yeah.
From what I think Allie or somebody was saying, that this was the scenario with that one getting
And when
sick,
did this happen? Do we have an idea of the timeline? Because the boys were taken away about this time. I think it was like July 20th, between 20th and 26th that the boys were removed from the home. How long after the boys were removed from the home did you hear the story?
Not long. It was way back. It was way back in the beginning that I heard that. But you know how you get these fits and they go on a side burner kind of?
Yeah.
Then you think about something and then it clicked. Like you were just talking about how she went from that to that, and it just popped in my head. Well, I remember somebody saying how they waited. That boy almost died. That boy almost died.
Right.
And I don't know the dates or whatever. I just know that I heard that story.
Right. And then with those stories that we heard, was that truthful? There was a lot of misinformation being peddled around there. I mean, even Leslie Earhart brought it up in their last press conference on the day that's the 1 year milestone of Summer's disappearance. They talked about that misinformation and people actually intentionally going out there and spreading misinformation to thwart the case. And that's sad. And then we hear all these allegations from Jody Sue and other people, and it makes you wonder, is that who they're talking about? Because every time we turn around, there's another, this mind-blowing revelation Jody Sue has a year later. She couldn't tell law enforcement when it happened, but now it's a year later and she's got a YouTube channel. So all the salacious stuff is now coming out. Is it believable?
I don't get her deal. I don't get it. Yeah, I don't get Jody Sue. Not that I can understand a word that she says, and I'm bad at talking because, whatever. People don't understand me all the time because I talk fast and weird. But I can't understand Jody Sue, and I'm usually pretty good at really rough accents. She doesn't even have an accent. She just is
Yeah.
But, I mean, I did hear that story, and it just made me think, what if that... Also, you think, I think of the other one, there was a lady that dropped her kids off at some park or something and went to take off, and the one held on to the van and got run over. I can't remember names. I have bad memory. But what if that's kind of similar thing? She dropped all the kids or dropped Summer off with grandma taking a nap, and she ran after mom, got under the wheel of the truck. Anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. But something did happen. We just don't know.
Yeah.
Was it? I mean, now we're starting to talk about, like, Don B came out with some. He's starting to believe. After looking at everything he's looked at, talking to all the people he's talked to, he believes that this was planned. And then we have to start thinking. It couldn't have been. Think about it. Dudley talked about this weird behavior that Don had the day before, the day he was fired, how weird Don was being. And he was the only one that stated that. So we kind of but we just kind of disregarded that because, Dudley was getting fired. But now, a year later, Don B gets this interview with Jackie Dobbs. And Jackie Dobbs describes the same behavior from Don.
Yeah.
Now, this is an older man that's not online. He's not techie. He probably has not seen Dudley's interview, and he's describing the same behavior that Dudley had described. That is corroborating information. There's more than one person stating that Don was acting weird the day before Summer went missing.
Yeah. actually sobbing, Dudley said.
Yeah, in the tub.
Mm-hmm.
And that was when he showed up to work that morning, the morning of the 14th.
Right, the day before. Yeah.
And then we hear that, from the ranch hand, the horse stables, that the truck was seen there most of the day on the 15th.
Yeah. Now, what does that mean? That means they left that truck there and went somewhere else with the Subaru.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't, it's just, we have so much speculation, and, our minds are probably more worse than the truth really is, how we go to bad places in our own heads. There's stuff I wouldn't even say online or wouldn't even say out loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you say it, it can become real. And I don't want to do that because it's just too much. But to think, that she was sick and they didn't get her help.
Yeah.
Almost makes me feel a little bit better about, even though that's awful and ridiculous to say, you know what I mean? It's so nefarious, convoluted.
So little Dove, what John's talking about is that Dudley described Don being in the bathtub when he showed up to work and almost in a sobbing type of state of mind that day. And it kind of had this deer in headlight stare. And, that was also, he was kind of spaced out, so to speak. And that was basically what was described by Jackie Dobbs on the 14th as well. So it just makes us, we keep questioning, we keep going back. Did this happen on the 15th, or did it happen some other time and they planned this all out? And if they did plan it out, that would mean that Hunter wasn't being forthcoming.
Perfect example that it would have been the 14th is that Grandis says, yeah, my daughter was so concerned about my knee on the morning of the 15th, she took me to the hospital. What?
Yeah.
My daughter was concerned about my knee, is what she said. She wanted to get her mom out of the house.
Yeah. So
maybe Grandis doesn't really know what happened, and they got her out of the way. So because she ain't gonna fly with them.
Yeah.
On certain things, maybe maybe she did love her granddaughter.
Yeah, I still believe parents. Just like let's take Brian Laundrie for example. He was very remorseful, but it didn't stop him from doing what he did. He still took a life. Yes, he's remorseful after it. Yes, he misses her after it, but it didn't stop him from doing what he did. And so, yes, the parents could be legitimately in pain that their child is missing, but it doesn't mean they didn't have anything to do with it. It just means they're very remorseful of what happened.
Right. Doesn't mean they have no knowledge. It actually could mean they have guilty knowledge also. Yeah. More so than not.
And Junior, Dobbs, they talked, if we put Dudley's statement of how he stated and Jackie Dobbs, they are eerily similar, whether or not they were, they stated it different. And you said Dudley made up a lot of BS. You don't know that for a fact. That is your opinion. Because none of us really know whether what Dudley's statement was 100% truthful or not, because we weren't there. So, saying that Dudley made a lot of stuff up, that's an opinion statement. It's not a factual statement. I found personally, because I was staying face to face with Dudley. And I'm telling you from my position, did he speculate? He did speculate. To speculate mean he lied or made stuff up? Not necessarily. It's his opinion about stuff, first and foremost. Secondly, whenever I was with Dudley and his wife, Linda, they seemed authentic and genuine. So, before you make a leap of saying that they intentionally made a lot of BS up, I would challenge you to actually speak with the guy before you start slandering him, because, something happened. He was there the day before Summer went missing. You don't get anything better than that. And it's not because we did the interview or anything like that, because his interview splattered on everybody's. They picked his interview apart, even though we spent all of our money to go out there and get that interview. People sit behind their computer and can just tear it apart. And without even getting out there and trying to speak to the man, trying to get his vibe, trying to get his speech pattern, trying to see how he behaves under
Mhm.
certain stresses and things like that. You don't get that on a computer. You just don't.
See, so look at you in the eye. Is that simple? Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, while he's speaking, you know, you're a judge of character. I'm a judge of character. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
You know, some people, you know, make judgments in their mind more so than their mind make their judgment. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So there's just too much around this case. It's hard to know who is truthful or not. Just like we were just saying, there's so many people who come out and said what they said. You know, and the drugs, yeah, definitely the 1,000 miles there could come from drugs, but
So his behavior was still way off the day before.
drugs are at the heart of this thing. I think we all have an idea that drugs are in this mix somehow. You know,
absolutely.
But yeah, you can't say, oh, somebody's a liar just because you think they're a liar. You have to like watch all these interviews that we've watched and listen to all you talk about what we're talking about. You know, and collaborate. Thank you. Collaborate all these YouTubers like you all been trying to do. Some of you have been trying to get together and go over it together and get tidbits that each other have. You know, when you put it together,
Ego is stopping a lot of creators from coming together. Period.
Yeah. There's those few that are always going to put the hot iron in the fire. You know, and that sucks. But I'll think a lot of you guys have come together more so than not.
Let me address this. So Junior's statement, it says he said that Jose got out of jail, fought with Don, and Jose was staying in Grandis's camper up to 3 days before Summer went missing. That's what he said he heard. So again, you know, we're splitting hairs here as to, again, his speculation on what he heard as opposed to it being fact or truthful. You know, maybe I'll replay the Dudley interview and kind of go over it more in depth so everybody's not confused about it. Because again, you know, it was an interview that we took and we had with Dudley. Do I believe Dudley was intentionally deceptive? I do not.
No, I didn't get that from him sitting there in the diner and all that. I didn't get that he was trying to lie to you guys. Yeah. You know.
So there was, you know, and not only that, but you know, for example, a prime example would be me and Doug Live, Northport. You know, me coming out and breaking. I was getting information. So the information that I gave out, and I expressed that, you know, this is information I'm hearing. I don't know this for fact. But then there were still people that got upset and said, oh, that's not right. That's not how it went. And it's like, look, I understand that all the information that I provided was not 100% accurate because it's like the game telephone. You know, the person that gets it is not the person that originally received it is not the one telling me. It went from this person to this person to this person to Bullhorn Betty. So you have to expect some things not being accurate or being correct.
Right. And you did legitimize it by saying, you know, I don't know how true this is. I'm just
well, we do know that he's fighting for his life right now, and this is what we're reading in the paper. You know, so there were factual things there, but there were also other people that have provided me information that was more on speculative terms as opposed to being factual.
And that's why you have to make those comments to cover your own butt. You know, I saw people got mad that you had said something, and I'm like, you know, she said, just we don't know if this is a fact. I'm just relaying this message. You know what I mean? You gave us that bit in front, you know, saying I don't know if this is fact.
Yeah, and again, Junior, that's your opinion. Junior, you're not going to hijack there's other people here. We understand your position. You've been on here 1,000 times stating your position. We understand you don't believe Dudley, and that's your right not to believe him. If you don't want to consider him as his whole entire interview was being falsified and just total BS, that is your prerogative to believe that. I'm not going to get in here and split hairs on what you believe as opposed to what I believe until you sit down with the man. I don't care about your opinion in this respect. Because you do not like Dudley, and it has clouded your judgment.
And how does he know? And how does Junior know that Dudley is said?
Yeah, because it doesn't go along with whatever they found out. But again, how many people have you, Junior Lovebottom, which I know is not your real name, how many people have you actually interviewed face to face about this? And who were those people, and what did they say? And where are those links to those interviews? because you're coming in
Right.
here and saying that this is not factual, but you're not providing the receipts as to why you're not thinking it's factual. Only that, insulting me, saying, surprised y'all didn't know that information. We've been on this case. We've covered this case. I've made multiple trips to Rogersville, Tennessee. I've talked to a lot of close people that had close ties to the Wells. So again, I'm not, this is my opinion. That's your opinion. We have opposing viewpoints on this, and you're entitled to your opinion, but have you sat down with Dudley and interviewed him? Because if you have not, I would suggest that you do that before you call the man a liar.
Yeah. Ditto.
Yeah. So.
What she said.
Yep.
What she
I've
said.
not interviewed,
Yeah,
and he says he hasn't interviewed anybody.
None of us. Oh, that's the whole surprise of this whole damn thing is that none of us really know who's the liars and who's not. But when you look in somebody's eyes when you're talking to somebody, it's totally different than watching the interview or anything. And you've done that. You've done that. And so I'm gonna give you your props.
Yeah.
Dolly's in your chat. It looks like everybody.
Hey, Dolly, hope you're doing well.
Hey, Dolly, it's bitchy. you two are the only ones that really call in too. I don't chat much, and I don't get on. I have a really ugly face for TV, so I don't do that.
Stop it! Stop it! Are you kidding me? I got scars literally all over my face. If I'm up here,
I could just grab a paper bag.
Right.
But yeah, no, you two are my favorite, you and Dolly, and I love that you guys, made a little friendship in Tennessee.
Yeah,
cool.
He's doing good work. You want to surround your people. You want to surround yourself with people that are doing the work, that are getting out there, that are just really trying. And the more, even True Crime with Eve, Susanna, Guidance in Life with TLC. There's just a lot of people that YouTube has connected us all with that are really trying to advocate for these children and trying to advocate, for bringing them home and doing their part. I think that's the best part is everybody, doing what they can do to help these children. And when you find a group of people that do that, you really want to try to help support one another in that as much as you can. So, and no, Junior, I wasn't picking on you saying hi, Jack. It's just that we've gone around about this so many times with this Dudley interview, and I would really like you to speak with him. It seems like you have a lot of opinions about it, but I would really like you to speak to him, because I really believe that when you speak to Dudley and ask him the questions, like the ones that you don't think that makes sense, he will explain those to you. Totally nice guy. I find him totally believable. And I talk about this. Just because people say that something is not accurate, it doesn't mean they're lying. It doesn't mean that they're intentionally out there lying. It's their perspective. It's their viewpoint. It's what they saw. If you have three people, like if Tanya, if me, you, and Junior were together and we watched a crime happen in real life, all standing side by side, I guarantee when the officer said, hey, what happened? We would have three different stories as to what we saw. It doesn't mean that I'm being deceptive. It doesn't mean Tanya's being deceptive. It doesn't mean Junior's being deceptive. What it means is that we had
a set of eyes. We all have a different set of eyes in our head, and it's connected to our own brain, and we see things in our own way. It's totally true.
Yeah.
I remember when you were in school, we're probably close to age. They'd have somebody run through the classroom dressed in whatever, and then you're supposed to write down what he was wearing, what he looked like, whatever. It was like I don't remember. It was like a classroom thing, and everybody's answer was different. He did this, he did that, he picked up this, he moved that, he whatever. And it's like a pass the buck thing. You don't know what true reality is, even in a group of, say, as small as 3 or as big as 10. Everything is different.
Yeah. And it's our perspective. It's our perspective in what we thought we saw, and this happens all the time, in crime cases. Think about it. How many times has somebody said, their friend says, oh, he was 6 foot, and their friend says, no, he was 5'7". He was stocky. Well, he was kind of a slender build. You have those.
I'm short, so to me, he looks like he's 6 feet tall.
Exactly.
So,
And it's all about
And
perspective.
guidance in life, yeah, right on. I guidance in life with TLC, I like to comment just now.
Yeah.
Potential suspect. Well, okay.
All right,
Yeah,
Tanya.
everybody
Well, what
has
else? What else is going on in your neck of the woods? Because I got to tighten it up because it's already 10:45 and I got to get out of here. I'm meeting my mom for lunch.
Oh, it's a beautiful day here in New York. It's maybe going to rain a little, but we need it.
Yeah.
It's California weather here. I can't even believe. Well, Florida weather here. I can't even believe it.
Yeah.
Not
Well, it's been
quite
raining
hot
here
as
for
Florida.
days. So my yard
We're
is
not even
overgrown and I
hot
need to
as
get
Florida.
out there with the lawnmower again.
No,
I hate this time
I'm
of year.
not me. We get the kid out there with the lawnmower. There's grandchildren around here. I
Yeah.
ain't
Well,
doing no-
my grandchildren are in, where the heck are they now? They're, geez, I'm drawing a blank. Why am I thinking? Oh, Ohio. Duh. I don't know what I'm drawing a blank. I don't know what it was. I was about to say Tennessee, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're not in Tennessee. But my grandchildren are in Ohio, so I'm sure my granddaughter Holly could probably mow the yard. She's big enough now, but
Yeah.
I have to fly her in.
My grandkids are all older. I have the 7-year-olds are the youngest, but the ones that live at my house are older. So
Gotcha.
he's 21. He can mow the yard.
Gotcha.
Even if he works all day, he can still mow the yard. I did it.
Yeah.
We gotta teach these kids right. Get the work done, then go relax.
Yep. All right, Tanya. Well, let me run. I gotta pipe this down. I gotta get out of here. My family will be waiting for me, and I will be late. And I am punctual.
Well, you better get moving, girl.
I need to get moving. All right. Take care.
Always great talking to you.
Tanya. You take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye. So Dolly is in the chat. So Dolly, we are all wondering, are you taking us for a ride to go on the hunt for Codi Bigsby? You are in Virginia. You took us out and gave us a lay of the land the other day. Just curious if he's still in here. Are you going out today? Oh, nice to see you. Don't worry, be happy. Haven't seen you. Miss Deb, nice to see you as well. Guidance in life. I said I'm from Cook County, Tennessee. Okay, well, you're from Cook County. So Junior, just explain to me. Actually, you know what, Junior? I would like you to not right now, but maybe, and tomorrow I'm having share, maybe Thursday. You and I have gone around this afternoon. Dolly says this afternoon he's going for the hunt with. So everybody tune in to Dolly Vision this afternoon. He's going to take us around searching for little Codi Bigsby, which he got some pretty heartbreaking news or possibility from a pastor in the area, and it's sad, but he's doing his part. Whatever he can do, he's doing it, and he's going to be out there with the big old rat-sized mosquitoes biting him all over the place, and just trying to do his part to help with Codi's case. So thank you for that. But Junior, getting back to you, I know you and I kind of butt heads on here, about our opinion on what happened that day. But, in all fairness, I'm curious. We only get to chat by text. Maybe having a conversation wouldn't be that far out of the realm of possibilities. Maybe on Thursday, you'll be willing to call in and us just kind of have a conversation. Nothing heated. You state your opinion and why you oppose some of the things I'm saying, and vice versa, and just kind of keep it above board and respectful, and give you some leeway to kind of express your opinion and why you feel that way. Would definitely be something that I would be interested in if you are. So think about it, pray over it, see if that's something you'd be willing to do, and let me know. But we can do it this week. So at the end of the day, I will call in. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I'll open the lines up. Once you get in here, I'll open the lines up on Thursday, and maybe you and I just have a chit chat and just go through some of this stuff. And I think it'll kind of tamp down the back and forth a little bit, and it'll give us a good understanding, and just an opportunity for us to chat. So that would be great. That would absolutely be great. Maybe we'll bring some guidance in life with TLC up. If you guys have if it makes you feel more comfortable, whatever works for you. I would just like to kind of hear your position. So even if it opposes mine, I'm cool with that. But definitely would like to hear your position and why you feel the way you do. It'll be a lot easier for you to talk about it as opposed to keep typing it. And you only get so many characters and whatnot. So at the end of the day, guys, I love each and every one of you. I hope you have an amazing Tuesday. We're going to be back here tomorrow on Hump Day with Cher, which is Listen to Voices Behind the Wall. Her and I have kind of really, connected and really trying to advocate for Summer Wells' case, and got a lot of questions for her. And I know it's going to be an amazing live tomorrow. We're going to be coming live a little late tomorrow. So she's going to be coming on around 11:30ish. So we'll be starting mid-morning around 10:30 just to kick it off before she comes on and just kind of get updated on the case. I'm going to have the interview pulled up. I've got some times that I want to stop in the interview and talk to Cher about, but just definitely an informational type of live tomorrow. So if you guys are available, please come back tomorrow around 10:30 in the morning. I'm going to come live again later this afternoon when I get back from lunch, and we're just going to work together and chit chat and hang out for a little while. So I wish you guys all to be here. I want to say have an amazing Tuesday. God bless. I love each and every one of you. Go try to make a difference in your community, even if it's helping a perfect stranger. And don't forget to be fearless, folks. Take care. And God bless.
As you wake up in the morning, you want to find the latest, greatest information about criminal cases and have an intuitive conversation about the suspects associated with these cases. Head over to the Bullhorn Betty channel on YouTube. Get breaking news right here on the Bullhorn Betty channel. Welcome to the Bullhorn Betty Coffee Club. Enjoy your stay and enjoy your day.